I pressed the record first. You didn't tell me to. All right, I pressed it.
Okay.
Flashing lights.
3.
Smoke. Yeah! My balls is totally moving, new and improving. Now that we get back up, I've got the heart and desire. My balls are on fire, ready to take us to the top. Welcome to the show. Did you know that your mom is a oh, she is a very nice lady. All hail the king of the West. King of the West. Hell yeah.
Laura Desiree, welcome to the show.
What's up, Laura? How you doing?
Holy shit, does that not do anything to you?
I've been here for a while.
You just sat there.
It's not my first rodeo.
Holy shit.
He's bored of it.
Talk about a first impression.
Yeah. Oh, I hope it
God.
was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Try not to cuss too much because we're on YouTube.
Oh, goodness.
But don't worry too much.
Apologies. Okay.
You're
apologies.
a strikingly beautiful lady.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
It's almost intimidating.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good.
You do scare people from time to time with your beauty. Am I right?
It's like the 6 foot tall thing. I think more than anything, it's that. And then there's always the, oh, you've got a Brigitte Nielsen thing about you.
Right.
You could probably crush me. Like, I get a lot of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I used to have this thing with, I wanted to have sex with a lady that could defeat me.
Yeah.
And like a big jacked lady, because I figured that could be it. And I've always said it, but I never even really knew what defeated means. The closest I ever got is I slept with a weightlifter lady, big famous wrestling lady. She died. But at one point, not while we're having sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was on top, and then she flipped me over and got on top, and I was like, oh, here we go. Like, I'm going to get handled. But it didn't.
Would that be the ideal kind of intimacy then? Intimate encounter being something of a wrestling match more than, say, I'm submissive, you're dominant?
It wouldn't be the ultimate. I'm more of a thrill seeker. I want to do, because I've had a mistress for a while, and I was like, am I a dom or am I a sub? And she's like, you just want to do everything. That's all you want to do. I'm
a creature of intensity. So when I get that question and people say, are you more dominant or are you more subby? I want someone to match the energy.
Yeah.
I want to push and pull. I want to fight you a little bit.
Yeah. See, and so it's
that's what I like.
It's different for smaller people to get that to happen with me, and I didn't even realize you were that tall until right now, and that's cool.
As I was cooking out front of this fabulous studio.
Because do you want me to mention because you couldn't get into the gate?
Yeah, please do. It's a great story.
Because she was like, you're locked out. And I'm like, locked out of what? And she's like, the gate. And I'm like, the gate's not locked. And then she walked over to the gate, and I lifted the latch and opened it.
It was just the gate.
I know.
The gate is just too high. I could probably clear it if I took a running jump.
Wow.
But I said, I'm not about to do that. I'm not doing it.
Did you see the Belgian lady doing the hurdles?
No, what Belgian lady?
Yeah, me neither. What's going on?
There was a shot putter lady.
Is this a viral clip or something?
Yeah, it was totally viral. So what happened is, I don't know all the specifics. It was some international track and field thing, and like both of the hurdle runners got hurt for the Belgian teams. They were gonna have to like drop out. So the shot put lady, who sounds like the kind of lady you're looking for,
yeah, because I was gonna say that.
like, I'll just do, and I'll lose. And so there's this whole event that you can see the video where all of these little hurdle ladies are going, and the one.
Well, damn.
Gigantic lady, you can say it.
Yeah.
She's huge.
She's really, really huge.
I mean, I'd pull a groin even trying that. Are you kidding? Look at this.
Well, they're way better than her, huh?
That's...
Oh, she didn't even...
No, she's Andre the Giant. That's exactly when you said that. That's what I pictured.
That would be me.
I thought she was at least going to jump the hurdle.
I think
For
her coach
sure.
told her, you got to do it so we don't lose, but don't make
Don't
yourself
hurt
unable
yourself.
to shot.
Wow,
That's a good point.
that's a sacrificial move right there.
Yeah.
So, you've got many talents. You've done a lot of things. You're a very pretty girl that worked in the sex industry, but you are like a a person that knows a lot more than that. You have shows, you've hosted
Hell
several
yeah.
things.
Hell yeah.
When people have questions, they come to you.
Yeah. You want me to run it down a little bit?
Please, so
Okay,
especially for the people.
Okay, fabulous. So everyone watching and listening, I come from 7 years hosting and producing for a legacy web series called Naked News.
Sure.
Formerly Playboy TV, whatnot. And a lot of people go, wow, that thing is still on. But I specialized in mostly investigations into sexual behaviors, sexuality, great sex, the pursuit of pleasure. These are things that interest me very authentically. So I led a lot of series that went into whether a deep dive on the most effective dirty talk or whether it was, hey, how do I open up my relationship, speaking to educators, doctors, experienced folk.
When it comes to sex and like what people like, everybody's different. So how do you get, like you just said, for instance, talking to somebody? Not everybody, especially in my experience, there's different kinds of dirty talk for different kinds of people.
For sure.
And there's certain things that if you said to certain people, they'd be like, what the hell?
And that's why exposing yourself, pun intended perhaps, to different communities that exist within the sexual sphere, it kind of gives you a gauge as to whether or not you're into whatever that community is into. So until you go out and start talking to folks and hearing about their life experience and what turns them on, what gets them off, like you might not even know it's a curiosity of yours.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you both something to illustrate what you're talking about. Can you give me an example, either from your own personal life or from your professional experience, of a level of dirty talk that you know is like exactly where somebody out there wants to be that would scare the shit out of the average person if it came up during a casual sexual encounter? Because I think we all know what like the general range is that's like starter kit dirty talk. But you're saying there's different stuff for different people.
Yeah.
Where's a place you could go with someone that would be a level that would be too far for most?
It's always choose your own adventure. And I think good dirty talk has to include question asking and information offering. You have to put that on the table for the other person. Otherwise, there's nothing to work with. So, you could obviously, I'm going to make sure we respect language here.
Yeah, this is going to get bleeped out, but how about...
Yeah, right, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you say that to somebody that is like,
The
what?
C word is
Did you
going to
just call me
cross
the
a
C-
line.
If that's authentically what gets you off, then you better be sharing it. I'm just saying, people, you want effective dirty talk, then don't try and play a role that's not you.
Yeah.
You got to offer yourself.
Honestly expecting something far worse. I don't know what.
Well, I
thought you were
like,
going to be doing stuff from like the Necronomicon.
if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, hell yeah. Okay, wait a minute, is that the Necronomicon? I think that's weird.
Is that the Book of the Dead you're quoting?
I think I'm okay with it, yeah.
It's details that make it really good. I find if you bring in enough detail, whether it's like sensory specifics about like how tight the grip is or how hard the smack is or, how sealed the mouth is on said part of body, like details, temperature details, all that is so necessary.
So you really got to study the person that you're sleeping with to get the best out of it.
Yeah.
Like that person inside out, then you can do the things that they want.
You do that while you're in this heated sexting. Right? You can mine for information while you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like the easiest one for me is because I'm recently single and I've dated a couple of girls lately. I've seen a couple and I've met them and then we kind of made out and then we did stuff and it was like I'm like, wow, this is new a little bit. And now I'm kissing girls for the first time and I'm like, well, this is how I kiss.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, that's how you kiss. Well, we're gonna like figure out which one's the best one for both of us.
I just force my way when that moment comes.
Because that was the thing that I noticed. It was, and I told a few friends already. Somebody was a little drunk, and I don't drink anymore. And when we started making out, I was like, "What is happening?" And I was like, in my head, I was like, "No, like this, like what are you doing?" Like, I think you're too drunk to read that that's not working out. And I was like, "Oh, that's
100%.
interesting," because usually we come to a happy medium, or the best one is when, that's how I do it too.
You're waiting to find the rhythm. You want to see if it's compatible.
Yeah.
But I think that people do go into autopilot as well with maybe what was a successful past kiss, and they just bring it to the next one and hope that it's a fit. Like, you do have to have some trial and error. You're going to have some potentially embarrassing moments where the teeth smack and crack, and that shit happens.
Yeah, and that doesn't have to be bad.
No.
Right.
Do you think it's a thing? Because I found that when I was a younger man, I was pretty sure I was good. And then when I slept with other people that were like, why don't you try this or try that? And I'm like, wait, as in what I'm doing is not the best? You know what I mean? And I remember being it hurt. It hurt my feelings to be like, wait, I could do it better? I thought I was good at it. And then learning to do something and then accepting, like I got better from the advice. And I was like, okay, I can take the hit on you're not doing it as good as I would like, just as long as you teach me how to do it better.
Yeah.
Like so that
Growing up, bravo. It's important.
But I think a lot of men, just based off my girlfriends, don't do that. Like the jamming of things in people without warming up. Like that's a total dude thing to do.
Of course. They have their moves. The dudes have their moves, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a checklist. Now we're going to move to this part and this part and this part and go to that. And you can't, it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
No way. Not great sex. Great sex is not a one size fits all.
What made you, so that means you were good in bed and then you were like, I'm going to go into a deep dive of being good in bed. Now you kind of know more than your average person and you can help people get better. So that means, what made you so infatuated with getting better? Because that seems like did you do it like, I'm going to do this so I can advance my career? Or you were like, I'm just obsessed with trying to figure out how to get people off?
I love pleasure. I love witnessing someone else reach what would be a climax of pleasure, even though it's not all about the climax, everyone. It's the journey of it all. I'm fascinated about how we drop that composure that the rest of the world gets. What I mean is the armor that we wear, let's say.
I totally get that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I know what your face looks like when you're out presenting to the public, but I want to see when it starts to contort.
Yep.
Because you're surrendering to your pleasure.
Jizz face.
No, I totally, even before
it's a turn on.
Yeah, it is the jizz face, but even before you get to that, that's the prize. Like, I think that's why even like strip clubs and stuff have never really appealed to me all that much, because I am sort of like that's like my trophy, is when you meet somebody and they're giving you the mask and you get that. I mean, the surrender is sort of the best possible word for it. That's the thing that you're actually after, and it's no fun if that's for sale.
No, that's I like that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's to me it's watching that come undone.
You just made me realize why I don't go to strip clubs anymore.
Yeah, and they're great. And I remember, like, I've had bad experiences, but I remember being in New York when Scores first really became a thing, and it was like girls would have birthday parties there to show that they were super cool and trendy. And you go and you go, wow, like half the girls in here are more beautiful than any girl I've ever seen naked. I get the appeal, but that's why it never became my thing.
Hey, Tony, you got any bad habits?
I have picked up a bad habit or two in my lifetime, but none at the moment. All I've got is a perfectly happy relationship with my fume.
Right, because it's not bad, because it doesn't even have electricity stuff. It doesn't have...
No, and we all know electricity is the real monster.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Somebody had to say it. It's taken up till now for somebody to have the gusto.
Damn you, Benjamin Franklin!
Yeah, they got little baggies in there, and you just suck on the good times.
Is that what's in there? Yeah. All I know is
you didn't fill it with stuff?
I didn't. It's been so long.
You gotta load it.
Oh yeah, no, I loaded it.
All right.
I'm enjoying a minty fresh fume at the moment.
You always do.
It's fun to suck on.
You're always sucking on that over here.
It's fun to fiddle with. I feel like Tommy Lee twirling my drumstick over here.
I love fidgeting with it too, Michael.
You do. You say that all the time.
Fidgeting,
I'm going to need you to stop.
No, all right. My bad. I'll back off on the fidgeting.
Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories. There's no reason that can't be you, Kimosabi. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today.
Head to fume.com and use the code Jason to save 10% when you get your Journey Pack today. That's tryfume.com. Use the code Jason to save an additional 10% off your order today, mate.
Try FUM.com.
I also remember like my first honest orgasm, like legitimate, and it was
What
like...
do you mean honest?
Like,
the other ones were a lie?
Come on.
Wait,
Come
most of you,
on.
so you faked it for at the beginning.
As many of us do at the start of the journey.
Do you know I faked it? I faked it twice. And it's particularly funny when you're a guy that can come real quick. And I was like, this one time where I did it, and then I did a spit because I was behind her.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, I'm gonna get busted, and if I get busted, I'll be like, all right, you caught me. But I didn't, and I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna.
That's resourceful, quick thinking.
So I could
right
tell
there.
it wasn't gonna happen. It was gonna happen, but it was gonna be like really vigorous, and I was like, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
But
I
like
just want this
we're
to end.
humans. We're humans, and in a way.
But that was your initial start.
Well, for me, it was like I did not know I made those sounds. I mean, I don't mean it's always that animalistic or deep gorilla whatnots. No, but
Hell yeah.
I was like shocked.
Show's getting chubbed up, son.
Yeah, I was shocked by what transformation happened in me to achieve that, and it just sparked something.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is
something
what
right
it's
now.
Yeah, this is what it's all about.
Dang.
This is why we're alive.
Yeah.
People should take a damn curiosity about their sexual selves.
Out of curiosity, about what age were you when you had that awakening?
The first like real awakening was probably like 19. Because everything before that, you're really like self-conscious. I didn't let dudes go down on me for the first little bit, because when you're a teenager and you're all like, oh, there's something.
Yeah, right,
I don't
right.
First
know.
time I
You
went
probably
down
weren't
on
missing much from
somebody.
those guys.
No, I wasn't missing anything from it, okay? I remember the kisses.
The first time I went down on somebody, I had taken some mushrooms, and it was my stepmom's best friend, and I went down on her, and it like it was like a cat spat at me, like it went,
Wow, the show just chubbed down.
Wow.
and it hit me in the face. I tell this in my stand-up. It hit me in the face, and my age and because I remember going. She was like, go on, and I was like, yeah, okay, but not really wanting to do it because I was like, oh, my face in it, okay, and I did it, and then she spat on me.
Did you know they did that?
No, so that I would die for a camera for my face because I feel like it was like if you, like a dog that was like sniffing something and it like popped on their face, like I was like, what? I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Like, I'm definitely not going back down there. Like, I didn't know those things did that.
Hello, it can be a shock, especially when it's your first time.
It was like a year before I put my face down there again because I wasn't sure. I was like, is it going to do that again? Because I'm not ready for that. And then you get older, and I'm like, man, if you do that now, I'm so pumped. I'm like, whoa, and get that thing.
Hell yeah.
It's weird how you get used to things, or because I saw it. I don't know what I saw it as, but I thought I did something wrong.
Yeah,
Like it was
it feels like an alarm. I mean, it's something firing back at
Yeah.
you, like especially when you're not expecting it.
especially
yeah.
when no one ever told you that they could do that.
There you go.
Which
right?
is, I guess that makes sense. But I wonder how many guys know. Well, I feel like these days because of porn and people doing their orgasms where they put a little more pee in there than they do the jizz, because I do see videos where I know there's always this argument. It's like, oh, it's mainly cum or it's mainly pee, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, but sometimes in videos, I know what you're doing. So do they.
I mean, that debate, is it pee or is it not? We don't even need to have it anymore. You know what I mean? Like at this point, just if it's there, it's there. It's great. Enjoy it. And if it's not, it doesn't mean it's not great. It just means
that's not the way that works.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Well, that's foundational.
I'm pretty cool with
like
it.
that was your first one, but then you made peace with it.
Over time, and because I feel like we can relate a little bit. I've always kind of been really open to learning about sex stuff. It's even if it's bad, I'll take something good from it. And I've always been interested in finding out more. And then when I opened my relationship and then became bisexual and doing things with all kinds of people, I didn't know you could do any of that stuff. And using my butt, I didn't know you could do any of that.
See?
And I was like, if you really wanted to feel the fruits of sex, you would want to open yourself up to all these different aspects, because there's a bet, like, oh, you put stuff in your butt, and I get it. A lot of straight dudes think that I might be like less of a man because of that, and that's cool. You can deal with that if you want to. But I'm having multiple orgasms, and if you're a guy, you can't have a multiple orgasm when you're having sex normally. But if you put stuff in your butt, you can. And some people are like, I don't need that, and that's cool. I get that too, but I will never let that go. Now that I know that that's a thing, I'm never going to stop doing it.
There's such a resistance in our culture, even in our modern world, to not explore what might be a conduit of pleasure.
It's like a guilt.
Of course it is.
That a lot
it's
of people carry.
It's rooted, puritanical, church-given guilt.
Yeah,
okay,
well said.
That's real.
Yeah, because I feel like mine, I don't have it.
Right.
It was not instilled in me. As soon as I figured out, oh, wait, sex, okay, how many things can you do? Whoa, you can do things. And then I meet people where they go, oh, I have this room that has thing, and I'm like, wait, what? And toys and restraints and, the BDSM world. And I'm like, man, people, no offense, but there is so many levels that I now know. That's the good thing about I don't know anything. That's what I believe.
When you refuse yourself exploration of something that, you're curious about, whether it brings you pleasure or not, you feel kind of powerless to yourself. You're like, wait, there's this area I can't go to in my own identity because I'm afraid of what I might find.
Yeah.
And so then you look to get power affirmed in other ways, whether it's cruelty to others, whether it's anger or resentment you feel in other partnerships or relationships. So it's like, all I can say is, if you want to free yourself a whole lot more, do some of that investigating, because we all have a sexual identity. Even if your sexuality is, I don't like having sex, that's still a sexual identity.
For sure.
And you need to be so comfortable to go there and ask yourself, what might be existing in my sexual identity? Because it's part of our instinctual being as humans.
Yeah. And there was a time where I think a lot of people just accepted that if I don't fit into one of the, given identities, that, well, sucks to be me. I'll just write it out like this. And that was the way that it was. And maybe some people found, I think I've known some older people who found some sort of happiness because those were the rules that they were playing by. To still be doing that nowadays, like, you only live once.
Think of how that compounds over life and then generationally, because people that bring, say, new people into the world, a parent bringing in a kid who then has this idea that we have to be ashamed and avoid this aspect of life. Like, that's got some real negative trickle-down trajectory right there. Like, that's terrifying stuff. And it's happening. That's our world.
That happened to me.
Yeah?
Yeah, that person changed completely. Mm-hmm. I kind of understood it, though. I think they're happier where they are. And I was like, well, it didn't come out of me. I'm going the other way. Yeah. So
all we can do is influence people to, do this examination for themselves.
Right. But you like you said, you never know what your kinks could be, but also you can find out that they're not for you too.
Oh, completely.
Because I feel like, when I was experimenting with this person, it was very apparent the more we progressed that it was, let's not do that ever again. And I'd be like, yeah, okay. And in my head, I was like, I really like that.
Look, I don't like 69. I don't like it. It's not my thing. In fact, when it comes up, I'm like, I'm not doing this. It's not my thing. For me, I'm either giving it or getting it, and I can't really break my focus and find pleasure. If I'm giving it, I'm giving it. I'm giving it my all. I don't want to be distracted by, oh, that does feel good. I'm sorry, it's not my thing. And,
and that's
people,
all you need. That's all you need to say, like, because I have a hard time understanding that. But it's like if you just said, like, some people don't like cheese,
right?
And it's like, well, but it's really good. It's like, well, that's how you feel about it.
Right.
See,
you don't like it. That's the reason.
I understand your angle, and I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like I like add it. You know what I mean? If I'm down there and you want to add a bunch of stuff while I'm down there, I like add on.
No, I keep my blinders on. I want one or the other.
Right.
Yeah, it's too distracting for me otherwise. But hey, for others that find pleasure in it, I'm so happy for you. That's great.
That's what I'm saying. Each to their own.
We're gonna have to find something to debate if we're here high-fiving everything.
Well, wait, we already debate. Like, okay, I don't want to argue with you about it, but maybe you are wrong. Maybe you need to fill all your holes.
We're gonna go
here just 69 with the wrong people.
Could be. I am 6 feet tall, so it is a challenge sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? Let's not forget that.
Right.
That can be.
Wow.
Yeah, that can be a weird one.
Oh, you're a little bit longer.
Yeah, that can.
Let me ask you something.
That's crazy.
You like being that tall, because I've been in relationships with tall women, not exclusively, and I was like, this is great. I love that. I mean, the feeling, I always say that like when you walk in the bar and the people like look at you and then they look up and then they look back at you, sort of like, what are you doing with her? I'm like, that's right.
I love that.
And then I would see you embrace that. The problem is
I frame myself in the doorway. I stand there and I eye everyone down and I strike a couple poses and then move through to where I need to be.
Whereas the one girl I'm thinking of would like go like this in photos, and I'm like, I know you're 6 feet tall. You think I don't want you to bend over in a photo, but I think the problem might be, and this is the world's problem, not this person's problem. What about the girl who's 6'2" that doesn't want to own the room, that doesn't want to dominate them, that wants to be the pretty girl under, with some guy's arm on top of her shoulder? That's challenging because a lot of the guys who are going to be into her are like, yeah, dominate me, be Brigitte Nielsen. And if she doesn't want to inhabit that role, then that's tough because
we're stereotyping something that we can't change. I can't change that I'm 6 feet tall.
It works out that you are the body that you inhabit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And do I often fill the role of Big Spoon? Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. But do I also demand on being Little Spoon? 1,000%. And I don't care if my ass doesn't land in your lap, if it hits you closer to the knee. I don't care.
Right. Okay.
I like you.
Yeah.
You're
curl
cool.
around, curl around, curl around.
Right.
But
Make yourself big.
But it is true that we eat with our eyes. Okay, as humans, we eat with our eyes. We see something and we make an assumption about what it could be like to experience that person, what intimacy might be like with them, what they might be into. We might say, I don't judge like that. It doesn't matter. We're humans, and to some degree, our little Terminator senses go on and we start doing it. So yeah, when you see a 6 foot tall woman walking in and maybe she does have a confidence about her, maybe her shoulders are back, you're gonna say that's someone who knows what she wants in the bedroom. She's probably super dominant. She's probably a little mean and has a kinky side. You're not wrong, but grant me the permission to be everything else that I am as well, which might be in need of lovemaking, which might be in need of a long makeout that leads to nothing but a good night's sleep.
Or a good going over where you're like dragged across walls and shit like that. And you're not in charge of a goddamn thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And so, like, again, approach potential chemistries with this in mind. That's a huge piece of advice for anyone that's, looking for what connections might be available to them. Stop stereotyping it, okay?
This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex. Do you want to bring the heat to the bedroom? Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and for a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night. You can plan ahead. I plan ahead. I plan ahead right now. I took one right now. Is this going to pop off? I just feel it. The process is simple. Sign up to BlueChew.com and consult with one of their licensed medical providers. Once you're approved, you'll receive a prescription within days. Best part is it's done online, so there's no visit to the doctors or office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. It just comes straight to your door, mate. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared, shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. No one will know you've got a huge dick. They always say first impressions is important. Make sure it's a lasting impression. Blue Chew wants to help you have sex better. Chew it and do it. Yeah. And we have a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use the promo code Ellis at checkout. Pay just $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code Ellis to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information, like how many wet towels to hold up. And I would like to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. That's really good. Make sure you go, you guys. Seriously, if you've got a penis, use my promo code or we're not cool. Have you ever beaten a man?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Right
verbally, physically, yes.
In anger?
No, wait. I wasn't trying to go there.
Do you not in a fit of passion?
I don't want to
you
hear
mean like
about
an
it.
actual? No,
I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about sexual beatings of men.
Absolutely.
Are we talking a boyfriend or hired to be beaten, humiliated?
It's been there've been combinations of, but I love my legs.
Yeah.
I love the length and strength of them.
They're strong, are they?
Yeah, it's wonderful to get.
Fucking asshole.
You can lock a lot between them. I think really keeping the thighs strong is just a great weapon to have readily available.
Yeah.
So
It's like a vice.
Yeah, but I also love a good slapping. I love to slap. But I also love verbal bullying.
Yeah.
Okay, like I have an OnlyFans page and I attract a very submissive subscriber.
I bet.
Constantly. I also feed into it, okay? I'll do photo shoots and content where I'm like, literally greasing my fist. So they'll get into that. But
Wait, you fist people?
they, you know what? I actually haven't actually fisted anyone.
All right. I have.
Well, I'm sure you have.
I
Good for
footed
you.
somebody the other day.
Yeah, footing.
Yeah.
Ooh, footing. Ooh.
I never
ooh.
would have thought I would have liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you point the toe as you put it in? Did the
gotta.
arch have a nice little swing to it
Yeah,
on
and
entry?
you got to rotate it as it goes in. Too.
I'm a foot person, actually, so that's a turn on for me.
Turns out I am too. I had no idea. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I constantly get surprised with like, wait a minute,
I know.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I get a lot of requests, though, for, like, verbal assault.
Like, do you get specific
Small
stuff?
penis humiliation.
Yeah.
With those guys,
I know.
those poor sons of bitches.
Oh, my
They know
friend-
exactly what they want. I'll tell you that. They know exactly what they want. I had a subscriber do video sessions with me, and his great fantasy was to be fully castrated and made completely useless to the world. And so we had to find really unique ways to come close to that fantasy without putting anyone in danger. So, I had some really fun, wonderful sessions saying, there's that knife in your kitchen, right? We're just going to feel the temperature of the knife against you. We're not going to drag it, but just feel, is it cold? Okay, is it serrated? Okay, cool. Where are those scissors that you have in your drawer? Great, let's just take those out and maybe open the blades and lay yourself between them, but don't pinch it. And this was enough stimulation to just really satisfy a fantasy and do it safely, because obviously I would never permit or enforce or even indulge someone in actually doing that.
Are you
Because
worried
there are
that
some
they-
awful stories I'm sure you're familiar with where people have
Of course.
engaged in.
Are you worried
of
about
course.
some of those people snipping when you tell them not to?
Well, it was a video call, so you would have lost access to me, and I think that's the greater threat.
Oh, okay.
That I'm going to hang up this call.
But he's told you he wants them off, and then you go put them in scissors.
And if we're going to come close to.
Is he jerking off when this is happening?
No, it's all
In the mind?
It's in the mind.
Does he still have like a jizz face when you're telling him all this?
Yeah, there's a very it's a substate of sorts.
Yeah.
There's that look of ecstasy that's maybe a few moments away from a drool starting.
That
That's
seems fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting headspace, right? Because it's total surrender, but it can be very blissful and quiet and warm.
Now, a lot of people are going to listen to this and say,
No, they're not.
somebody who their greatest sexual desire is to be castrated, that person is crazy. That's not an uncommon conclusion for...
I could not agree.
Some
with
people
that.
buy Skechers, and I think that's crazy.
Yeah, it's an intensity thing. I mean, I can't define what the element of it is that makes it so exciting, because it's not my fantasy.
Yeah.
But I don't really think it's a wild one. It's not the weirdest one.
Okay, what's the weirdest
I know.
one?
I knew you were going to go there.
Hey, you set it up.
I did. I really did. The weirdest one. I mean, I get sent a lot of scripts that people want then read back to them, and so
Cool.
which I find so fascinating. They have their entire thing already laid out in a script, and then I just read it, and it's like,
Cool.
how easy is my fucking day?
Yeah.
My day. Sorry, guys.
But that's so good
Yeah.
for them because this has been growing inside
Yeah,
of them
they've been
for
working hard on
decades.
it.
They know
Exactly.
exactly
and listen,
what it is.
I always want people to put articulation to their fantasies.
Yeah,
I think
right,
it's so
right.
important. So it's like, build up the words for it. So I don't know if there's like a weirdest example. There's people that just have a grand vocabulary for maybe their obsession with BBC and the fact that they worship it to this level. And I read these long scripts and I go, oh my goodness, this is like an erotic possession in your mind.
Yeah.
I marvel
they any
at
good?
it. Some of them are really good.
Cool.
Like some of them, I'm like, you should pursue this.
Yeah.
Like the grandeur of your vocabulary is
right.
just astonishing, right?
So they've really put in some work.
Yeah, and I commend them for that every time. I say, especially if I agree with it. If I don't agree with reading, if there's something in the language that I say I don't want to be a part of this, I always have the right to refuse it.
Okay.
But usually I say to them, this is phenomenal, and I applaud you. And I really do. Like, people, try it, okay? Like, try it. Take out a thesaurus.
So did we get to the creepy one?
The creepy ones, I mean, this will not live on YouTube if we go to the creepy ones.
Okay, well, thanks for warning us.
Yeah. This
probably
is
a good idea.
This is, I mean,
Should stay for Patreon.
Yeah, there's a
I wanna
very
know.
dark and disturbing world that's likely informed by, say, the deepest corners of the dark web.
Do you engage with those people?
Absolutely not. Oh
Okay.
my God, bye.
I was gonna
Bye.
say, that's-
You're gone at that point.
seems to be the general consensus.
Am I fascinated by it? Do I think about it afterwards? 100%. But I would never entertain it. Go. No.
I can relate. I'm trying not to ruin YouTube, but I have the Grindr app, and one time somebody said something to me about licking me, and that was I clean, and could I not be? And I was like, what exactly are you trying to say? And then my suspicions were correct, and he was trying to eat something, and I was like, can't you get, because now I'm engaging, but I'm not engaging because I'm going, I'm engaging because I'm like, are you real? Like, are you really real? Because I thought that if you did that, you would get sick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, there's...
And he seemed to talk back to me in a way where I was like, this dude's not joking.
You know that there's scat book in Europe.
Right.
What's
Really?
It's
I haven't covered it already?
it's a hookup for... Please don't even pull it up, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, we're not typing it in.
No, I don't want to know what the first part is. The book, so it's an app. It's
an app.
People meeting people
wow.
over a shared interest.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
And obviously that, that genre doesn't even exist in the content available legally in this country because
Right.
that's a hard limit.
Yeah.
But like in Europe, no, there's like communities connecting you for it. There's all kinds of parties, events. It's
I never trusted Europeans.
they are. Whoa.
Bit suspect, all right?
Wow. Bless them all. My goodness, they know how to really experience themselves.
My friend went to a club in Germany, and they had a pool full of pee, and they were all swimming in it.
Yeah.
I've heard of these stories. I've heard of slip and slides where a bunch of people just get the ground real syrupy with their
Oh,
what.
wow.
And then a couple people decide to just body slide through it.
That is living, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah. That is
sounds like a
that is
good
when you're
time.
like, I do not care. I am just having a good time, and whatever happens, happens. Like, I commend those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy for them.
And I always kind of wonder, I think a lot of people who live that sort of alternative lifestyle live in an alternative world almost all the time, and my paths wouldn't necessarily cross theirs, but I know that's not 100% true. And I'm like, well, I don't know. If I go through my phone, I'm kind of friends with like 250 people. How many? I don't think I know anybody who's ever done a crocodile mile in a Berlin whatever club.
Basement, yeah.
But the odds are I know somebody like that, and I don't know that about them,
They
right?
live in an alternate universe, you said.
Well, I think that there's some people who like live in a certain neighborhood and they're out at night more often, the certain neighborhoods of New York, where you can kind of pass them on the street and go, I bet that person gets up to some pretty weird stuff. But they're just not a mainstream person. They're living on the fringes of society, but then you hear the stories about, oh yeah, this guy's got a wife and kids and blah, 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 and you wouldn't believe what they get up to in their spare time.
Definitely.
I can honestly tell you I'm not that guy, but maybe my best friend is, and he's just never been like, well, you don't need to know that I like washing myself, slipping around in pee.
I feel like that might be the correct answer, because that dominatrix friend of mine, Isabella Sinclair, she says that most of the clients are businessmen.
Yeah.
And they want stuff where I go, they what? Wait, they pay you for that? And she's like, yeah, they pay me for that. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, that makes no sense that you would pay any money to be locked up in a little cage for 8 hours, then brought out and spanked and put back in there and humiliated for another ridiculous amount of time. I'm like, what? How do you even have the time for it? Like, aren't you tired the next day? And
I'm so happy for these people.
these people make
for sure.
a lot of money, and they're very successful. And when they get a break, they go there.
Right, and that they have this option to do it discreetly.
Yep.
And that they're able to
Right,
have...
nobody knows. It's paid.
That's
It's
right.
legal. Everybody wins.
Right.
Right, and
I
it's
mean,
safe.
Not all of it's entirely legal, unfortunately,
Right.
but
Right, sure.
that's a massive undertaking to break down state by state what is legal in this damn country when it comes to sexual experiences.
Right.
But no, I'm happy that there are individuals that say you have a burning curiosity about experiencing something. You do have places to go.
Oh, yeah.
There
right.
are professionals that are willing and readily available and well versed
Yeah.
in what it might be that you're interested in.
Life-changing.
Right.
And say what you will about the internet, it's very much a mixed bag, but it's never been easier to, if you think you're kind of curious about something, learn more about it, learn about the right and wrong way to do it, and connect with professionals that are this
Right,
way.
Like when I have a collection
of
of symptoms and I type them in and find out that I'm dying of heart arrhythmia,
WebMD
whatever,
is maybe
right?
even worse than Twitter
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
regard.
It's the
No,
same
that-
as fighting. If you roll with somebody that is a white belt, they're going to hurt you.
Yeah.
If you spar with somebody that's just started, they're going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Or you're going to hurt them.
I thought a white belt was the beginning.
It is. People in the beginning are the most dangerous people to spar with.
Why?
Because if you spar with somebody that's been doing it for as long as I do, if I catch you, I'll let you know, but I won't ring your bell. If you're an amateur, if you throw as hard as you can because you're trying to be as fast as you can, you don't know how to take any power off your punches. So every shot, and it's usually like it's thrown in an incorrect way, which means it comes from a strange angle that you're not used to, so it can catch you and hurt you. And then same in jiu-jitsu, if you're in a move and you're like you're scrambling to get out of like an armbar or a choke, and it's a certain kind of person who is just going to yank on it no matter what, because a professional will catch it and apply it slowly, and then you have time. An amateur, a white belt, is just going to yank on anything, and that's how you get tendons torn and and really get hurt.
I get that. I totally see that.
Everybody in MMA knows this. Like if you're a guy that's like, I've been doing it for a couple of years, I'm gonna come train with you guys, and the coach will go, not with these guys over here, they're new. Because new people...
But don't you look at the new person and just see a bunch of really calculated, typical new guy moves? Like, oh, there's that flail of desperation. Like, I don't know. To me, I'm like, there's no finesse, there's no skill. And you being the master of it, like, wouldn't
I'll
you
tell
just...
you what, it's more like if I'm training and I've got a fight coming up, I'm not going to roll with some dude who is going to do something stupid that isn't really how the game's played, and I tweak my knee a little bit. Because there's certain things where guys don't, mainly guys too, where they just kind of push and pull. They don't really know what they're doing. But sometimes you can be in the middle of trying to get out of something, and because he's doing that, you can tear something, and now you're out of the fight. Same
Sounds like sex. Sounds like
same with
sex.
sparring people. You can get cut if somebody hits you in a bad way. But if you're sparring somebody that is a pro who knows you're fighting in a month, if there is an opening, you make a mistake, he's not going to sweep your knee. He's not going to like cut your face.
I'm just going to pull everything together real quick here because I actually love this. It's like going to a professional dominatrix versus having your girlfriend pick
It's
up
like going to me, because I'm going to turn it back into me. I went to Isabella Sinclair, learned a bunch of stuff, and then I was like, babe, get in the bedroom. I'm going to start doing stuff.
I'm going to beat the crap out of you.
And then I whipped her. I whipped her in the pussy, and it was over. My BDSM days, she never let me try it again.
See, I see that because all the time couples are like,
went
let's
under the
spice
leg,
it up.
and it
Like,
flicked up.
If you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
I see it. Okay, I get you. I get
white
you.
belted her right in the bead. Yeah.
So what about when you hear from couples, if there's a couple and they're like, we're doing the usual stuff everybody does, it's getting a little stale, we want to spice it up. What is the first best one-size-fits-all advice for people to
ask each other what each one is masturbating to separately? Figure that out, because it's a lie if you think your partner's not doing it.
Yeah.
We all find time for self-pleasure because nobody does it like we do it to ourselves.
Right.
And you got to find out what they're fantasizing about, whether it's content that they're watching or whether it's a way that they are securing pleasure for themselves, whether they secretly have a new toy or whether, they can't stop thinking about that scene in the movie. Find out what they are pleasuring themselves to.
I have a
You guys need to
question.
bring that out. Yeah.
If you are in sexual relations with a girl and she is moving in a weird rhythm or a little too fast off the get-go, how do you get the message across that you should calm down a little bit without, like, making it happen physically?
Oh, this one's really going to blow your mind. So you ready?
Yeah.
This is going to rock your world. You go, hey, hey, hey.
Oh, yeah. I know. So I know that one.
Yeah.
You talk about it.
Yeah.
You go,
okay.
what would Billy D. Williams say?
Yes.
But you don't want to be... Okay.
You're not going to break the mood.
Okay, now... This
The
has
thing is,
happened
don't
to me
shame
where
them.
okay, but that is such a fine line where if I go, hey,
Yeah.
calm down, just let's just work it out.
Okay, ready for this?
I know she knows what I've said, and she's gonna feel insecure about that.
Okay, you ready for the ultimate then?
Yes.
You make it about you in that moment. I need us to go a little slower.
Oh,
Say
wow.
it because it's what you need. And
Yeah.
it doesn't make your partner feel like they're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. And guess what? You're being honest.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not that you can't
particularly-
handle it, it's that you would like it to slow down.
Particularly
Yeah.
in that situation as a guy, oh, that's almost too good. I need you to slow down. Puts it on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that...
You
that's
can also
not what
try.
I was thinking.
I know it's not, but that's what I'm. Sometimes you gotta tell some white lies.
Lie.
And also, this might be a situation where you consider what's colloquially known as like a poop sandwich, a compliment sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, that's so great what you're doing, but could you blah 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 compliment on the back end? You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
okay.
I also have such an injured man fetish. Like an injury, a broken rib. I just need to press on it. So unfortunately, you'd have to be very clear with me. Like
I'd be into that.
a bruise,
I'm always hurt.
a sensitive, a strain, something.
if you knew I was hurt and you were poking that, I'd be so boned up. I'd be like,
It
you
is
are not
such-
seriously trying to do that.
It is
Oh yeah, we
such
played a game.
a
We played a
turn
game
on.
at Pictionary before you got here with another guest,
And?
Tully wrote down bruise correctly, and because I'm so illiterate, I was like, what is that word? and then he wrote it down for dum dums.
I wrote it phonetically.
Bruise.
Yeah, bruise.
But then secretly, I went to him. I fake punched my leg and went. And he went, yes,
yeah.
that's what you're talking about. Because
Right.
I still wasn't sure if it was the word bruise.
Sexually, we communicate terrifically.
So playfully, if someone were to say to me, I need you to slow down, I would say, well, what is it? Is it doing something to you? Is this too much? And I might have a little bit of fun with that before I actually do slow down. But then
that's
I would
fine.
actually slow down.
See,
know?
you're kind of chopping at me though by saying that. Now I regret that I said that. Should have just
Hey.
gone with it.
Hey.
It's not fast. It's not. Okay, sometimes it is. Sometimes girls get giddy and it's just
Yes.
like, bah, 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 and I'm like, not yet. You
You
know,
guys
like,
do the same
well,
thing.
I'm old. I don't. So
you
yeah.
do the same
I
thing.
am
We
not a
say that we're
jackhammer.
close. We say that we're close, and then suddenly that means up the tempo
Nope.
with whatever. It does not.
Sometimes, sometimes it does.
Nope, me.
It's more like up the intensity. If
I know
anything,
what you mean. Yeah,
you
The same, but
know?
more.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, don't completely take
Yeah.
us onto the freeway.
I understand vaginas are very temperamental. And if you've got a thing that's about to pop, don't move anything. Don't change anything.
Don't change anything.
Because it's like as soon as you move off the whatever the button, you were hitting the button.
Yeah.
And now you've just switched it up.
Yeah.
And their minds have got to be all connected and stuff. And you just threw the whole thing off.
Completely. I like
I
the
get it.
song I'm listening to.
Right.
I don't need it to change.
Right, I
I
understand
like
that.
this groove. I
It
like
is
this.
interesting to know that, though. That
Yeah.
I feel like I've done that in the past for sure. Maybe I didn't catch it, but that's kind of half the point.
Well, it's
is
also
when
you
someone-
get excited.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is it's exciting, right? It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, you're going to win.
Yeah, here we go,
And
here
she's
we
like,
go.
I'm going to come. And I'm like, oh, that makes me the winner.
Yeah. Yeah, so you end
Go
up going-
crazy.
You're just excited,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I get that completely. I think
We're
that's
almost at the
human.
finish line and you're in front.
That's human. That is a human response.
Go, go, go. Yeah, whoops.
Goodness.
So your pod is Licked and Loaded.
Yeah, Licked and Loaded was a show that I actually just wrapped. So I
Okay.
did 3 years with it, and it was interviewing guests in the pursuit of their pleasures, people that were, unapologetically smutty or sexy or interesting and sex positive. I had a wonderful run with it. I really liked it.
Who's not what's the best show, not what's your favorite guest? Like, what's the first show that comes to mind that really struck you because the guest brought something intriguing, unusual, striking to the table?
I had a lot of fun with Jim Norton because
That was not the answer I was expecting.
well, obviously we commend him for the comedy, and we commend him massively for, taking us to some of those dark areas of the subcultures, and the fact that he owns a lot of his sexuality, but like we had the chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that was really dope. I really liked that. But
Yeah.
I, also had a great time with Lady Bunny, because drag
that?
queens are also, such leaders in living your truth. And so having that chance to speak twice with Lady Bunny, who's like the icon of drag icons, it was heated, it was sexy, it was great. I also love talking to anyone that makes a living as like an expert or doctor of sexuality. I interviewed a woman that makes her living basically equipping people with any form of Asperger's or on the autism spectrum with what they need to feel confident navigating sexuality. And I hadn't I hadn't even considered that life, that reality, that there are people that might not know how to navigate sexuality based solely on, what they're dealing with in their life and what circumstances they have to exist within. And so I don't know, it really rocked my world. It really, I remember almost crying on that one, because I thought, wow, it's a human pursuit. We want connection.
Yes.
We want...
Right, but that's a category of person that we've opened our mind in so many other ways, and that doesn't...
Right.
That's not a category we think of.
Right. I mean, now there's Netflix shows that are all about individuals on, various ends of the spectrum. And we are seeing, the dating realities of their world. But this was before that, okay? Yeah. I was not aware that there was anyone making a living helping people in this situation actually get the satisfaction or the, even just the start of their journey with it.
How are you with stinky people?
Stinky people?
Yeah, like your BO, your pheromones.
This is really...
Because one time we had a doctor come on, a sex specialist.
Yeah.
She came on and I was in New York.
Yeah.
And she was like an older lady.
Yeah.
She was definitely a doctor.
She was still...
She had the jacket.
She was still hot. And I was like, you might even be hotter now than you were when you were younger, because it was just the being a doctor and being a sex doctor, and
but she was
had the glasses, and she had the craziest BO ever.
Wow.
Like it was I was closer to her, and those guys were off, and they couldn't smell it, and I was trying to tell him in the interview, a couple times, I was like. As in, when I pull this face, are you not immediately knowing that my face is? Can you smell that? Because it was, I train with fighters. Some guys don't wash their gym bags. This chick was on fire. It was really potent.
But some stinks are very compatible.
Well, here was the thing. After she left, I was like, "Did you guys smell that?" And it's I'm like, "Come over here," because where she was, and I started smelling it more, and I really wanted to bone her.
So
and I was like, this smell, I don't when it first hit me, I did not like it. I was like, wait, you have a suit on and you smell like BO? How is that even possible?
But then you became
sexually aroused from it.
Yeah, because sometimes it's a match. Other times it's not. And we know instantly, we're like, no, it's not working with me whatsoever.
Because I've noticed in the gay community, there are a certain group of people that really like that. And it's like I forgot the word that they use.
Oh, it's like an armpit thing.
But I've been to a couple of leather daddy bars where I'm like, you guys got to be joking me. That is...
It's potent.
I'm like, what? One of you or all three of you that I just walked by is against soap. And a lot of guys are like, that is what I want. But
it's amazing what it activates, right?
Yeah.
If it is your thing, my goodness, it sends you into that trance.
So you're saying that some people that's never going to work?
No, because for some people, certain pheromones in combination with your own olfactory senses, it's not a match. But
so some BO I could be like, hell no, and some BO will be like, hell yeah.
That's right. Some of it really is exactly what you need to get your motor going. But other people, oh my God, no, we signal that as an absolute no go.
I've definitely been around women that had a certain kind of smell that I was like, even if everything else was perfect.
I'm super down for BO chicks.
It's funny. I was just reading a
don't know about
chapter
BO guys, though.
on this, an amazing book called Perv by Jesse Baring, talking all about sexual behaviors, sexual deviances specifically. And it's a real phenomenon that when we are in the sexual trance of it's about to happen, we're aroused, we're moments away, we're just locked into that zone. We know that zone. There are certain smells and behaviors that we are more likely to be okay with. You know, like if you asked me to eat someone's ass just right now because they're out there on the street and they commit, no. But in the throes of that erotic possession, we do a lot more than we would in other settings.
Yeah, even the spit smell.
That's right. We accept different scents, they did a study where basically they lined up 5 women and said, you know, how many of you spit and how many of you swallow? And everyone swallowed. Okay, well, if I were to hand you a cup of semen right now, would you take it? And everyone said, absolutely not. That's disgusting. Mind you, in the moment, it goes without saying.
Yeah, right.
It goes.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what fascinates me, is that when we are in that state, like, who are we in that moment?
Free.
Right? Free.
Yep. That's how I feel.
There's some smells, like if you smell a rotting human corpse, you're not, I mean, maybe.
Each to their own, once again, yes.
Maybe it's still a turn on, but I don't know if that would be a turn on for a majority. I think that would be an alarm system inside of us.
I hope so.
I thought the pheromone had been somewhat debunked. Because not BO and pheromones are not the same thing. In theory, you should be able to, if somebody took a shower 6 hours ago, you should be able to like Q-tip their armpit and stick it under someone's nose and then do it with a piece of paper, and someone should have some visible scientific physiological reaction to the pheromones. But I thought I'd read something where they said there's actually not a whole lot there.
I smell stinky armpits and get a boner.
So that's your thing.
But that's BO.
It's not my thing.
BO and pheromones are not necessarily the same thing.
There's only 2 people I've ever done it to, and it worked every time.
Well, maybe it is that certain kind of BO that is just a good fit for you.
Right, and one was not that stinky because she was never one to try to let that happen. I was always trying to smell her arms after she work out, and if it did stink, I'd be like, hell yeah, it's on. And then there's this other person that I have seen, a trans guy, and he has some heavy BO, and every time I smell it, I'm like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like the stinky guys. I try to be polite, but it's hard. I've flinched it before. Like I've been at a bar and I'm like, oh my, I gotta move to the other side. I don't know who it is, but that's not.
So are you like a fan of the come home from the gym and don't shower?
It depends on. See, I'm into everybody, but for different reasons, and then I want to do different things with those people.
Just completely open, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to be.
Could you summarize what you've learned about your preferences and what you've learned about, like, is there a summary that makes some of this concise?
I'm a soul fucker.
You're a soul fucker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I don't know who you are inside.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to work. I've been wrong, but I'm usually right. And then things about you that trigger things that I want to do or have done to me.
Do you feel that some people are closed off from letting you?
Absolutely. Yep. And then that doesn't work at all.
And then that's not a match.
Yep.
What about you?
Well, it's funny. We were just talking about this. One of the guests on the last show was asking me the very same question.
Oh, so you've already done this.
In a totally different
Boring.
context. Yeah, I'm honestly like the most vanilla person that I think I've ever met. And what I said in the beginning of the show really summarizes it pretty well. The sexiest thing for me is women enjoying sex. Like that is actually the number one thing to me. And that can be like, yes, pretty girl better than not pretty girl. Yeah, usually, but sometimes you just meet somebody. Now, I mean, I've been married. I've been in a monogamous relationship for a really, really long time. But very often, especially I think as you get older, everybody loves a chocolate chip cookie,
Yeah.
but then you get older and you get into some foods you didn't used to like. It can be somebody that's not conventionally attractive, and you're just like,
The best thing
wonder
is
what they're
though-
like when they come.
Right, but you're
Yeah, right.
satisfied. But you're satisfied.
do you mean?
You're content, right? You're content with...
Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of people have a negative connotation with a vanilla identity, and it's like, there's nothing wrong with that if
It's easier.
if you're satisfied.
Yeah.
If you're completely satisfied with it, then great. That works for you.
To me, all the roads are leading back to that
Yeah.
one thing, which is somebody who's you're having a great time and they're having a great time,
Right.
and there definitely is that. Like, I was like a good kid that got gold stars and likes pats on the head, and sexually, I like the pat on the head of like, wow, you brought me there. So I want to try to take you as far there as you can go, because when I know you don't need to say it, that you're like, whoa, that was pretty good what you just did right there. Then I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm good at this.
I still want to tie him up, though.
Him.
Yeah.
See, I want to say something
I
about
don't know.
that.
I don't know what the
Just
outcome is.
restrict a couple of your senses. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's plugging your nose and cupping your mouth and just holding you there in torture for a moment. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's...
Oh God, please do this.
you know?
I know my wife would be happy if you cut my mouth for a couple of days.
There's
But here's, I kind of wanted to ask
No,
you this,
she wouldn't.
since you're not like you're not actually like a dominatrix,
No.
right? So I didn't think it was quite the right question for you. Is there somebody? I don't have an interest in that, but I'm not.
I do.
I'm not like strictly
Sorry.
opposed. Is there? Well, you just don't understand when somebody is really good at this. If the right person puts you in a cage the right way,
Yeah.
after 4 days, you're gonna love it. Or is it like, no, you just have to be into that, otherwise it's not gonna compute.
Oh, you don't like Brussels sprouts? Wait till you have my Brussels sprouts. That
Exactly.
shit's got bacon grease on it, right?
Right, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I think some of that can be part of it.
I'm
right?
inclined to think I'm just gonna want to get out of the cage.
Right.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But you won't know until you try it. You won't know until you climb into that cage and you see what happens as the reality sets in.
Yeah.
I'm in this. Oh, I'm doing this right now. Wait a minute. Okay, and what is a cage? It confines me. It means I am without my own free will right now. I'm
Yeah.
stuck in this thing. Like, until you try it, you don't know.
I think my knees are gonna hurt.
Good,
me
that's
too.
part of it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all I can think
no,
is
that's-
getting down and playing with my kids isn't as
Right.
fun now as it was 10 years ago.
That's the part. That's part of it. It's like when people do the rope stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It cuts off circulation.
Oh, massively.
And they know it.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
Right.
And that one to me is I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. But I would, if someone said I'm a professional and I'd like to do it to you, I'd do it.
Yeah.
Just because I've had things where I was like, I don't, like the cock and ball torture. I'm like, cock and ball torture. No,
Yeah.
I don't think that I would be into that. Maybe for a video to be funny, but not get off on it. And then I was like, I'm into,
what about
I'm into it.
sounding?
I did it.
He did it the worst way I've ever heard
I'm
of a
just
person doing
I'm
it.
curious. Yeah, I'm curious. What was your go with
well,
that?
I was drunk. It was after I won a fight, and it was like a big after party, and there was asparagus on the table, so I put it in there. So it wasn't really like getting off with it. It was more like, hey, you guys, look, I can do this.
Wait,
it was a skinny one.
But still, like,
Was it cooked and flaccid? Was it?
Yeah, the Hard Rock made it for me.
Yeah.
Did
If
you eat it
you think your
after?
Brussels sprouts are great, wait till you try the Hard Rock's asparagus.
Especially when it's been shot out of the eye of my penis.
Was it consumed after? Please
I
just
don't
tell
know
me you
about
ate
that.
it.
I
Come
don't-
on, we don't remember. It's a blur.
I seriously
It's
don't
a blur.
remember.
A gentleman would never tell.
But it's
But
not
I
your
would-
thing. Not your thing.
No, but no, I don't want to. No, because I wouldn't say that I did it in a way that was performed in a sexual way. It was straight up a trick.
Yeah.
So if somebody was to do it professionally, like would I let Isabella Sinclair do it? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just because. Oh no. Okay, sorry. I've done it. I forgot.
Who can keep it
How
all
do
straight?
you forget something like that?
You know what else I forgot? That she had a electric thing attached to it.
Yeah, of course.
And she was
Yeah.
electrocuting me down into it. But if you did it right now, I'd be like, get it off. She did all these other things way before it.
Yeah.
Like I got whipped for like 40 minutes before it and like had this big adrenaline dump because of the pain that she inflicts. Then she gets you off and puts you on a rack, on a bed or whatever and straps you down.
Yeah.
But the high from the whipping, I was addicted to that. Like I go back for that. I want to finish as well. That's my other highlight. But
Yeah.
the one that rivals it is the last whip where I'm like, I can't do another one, and she knows it because she knows I won't say a safe word. I just
Endure.
white knuckle it. But she'll bring me to the point where I'm like, God, please don't hit me with that again, you know? And then after I get off that rack, I'm high. Like noticeably, I'm like, especially being a sober guy now, I'm like, oh, dude, you got a free one. Like you are euphoric right now. And then she puts the clamps on me, and then there's like nipple things, and then there's breath play. And then I'm like, wait a minute, is something going down? Because I'm blindfolded. I'm like, is something going into my penis? And I'm like, man, I hope that's not sounding.
Right.
And then there's electrocuting and vibrations, and there's so many things going off that I can't even, after it, more than once I've said, okay, what did you do exactly? Because I feel like, I was like, I'm pretty sure you were hitting me in the nipple with a wooden bat. And she was like, no, not at all. I was like hitting with this little electric thing. And I was like,
It's amazing.
Can't tell. I just know that at one point, at the very end, every sense is going off and I'm going to finish.
Well,
It's hard to rival.
We don't give enough credit to the submissive in our culture. We're always like, oh, those squirmy weirdos. Like, that's so creepy and gross. It's like, yes, there's, of course, the potential and likelihood of sexual gratification in taking on that role of submissive. But, like, can we just for a minute celebrate that, like, that's some brave stuff.
Yeah, it's like that chick in the musicals when she sings Let It Go. That's what you got to do. You just got to let it go. That's what I hear in my head when I'm getting a metal rod with electricity rammed down my...
endure that. To actually offer yourself. Yeah, but to say, you know what? I surrender.
Yeah.
Like, that's an act of insane bravery.
Yeah, I like it.
And I think that's a lot of what the psychology, the reward in taking on the submissive role, that's what that is. So that high that you're talking about, it's like, yeah, you survived that.
But it's also, I feel like because I trusted that person, you could do that. Like if I didn't know like if Glenn Danzig did it to me, I would.
No, you would love it. Stop.
No, I wouldn't because I one time we brought up, my wife at the time was like, so you have like a dungeon? And he was like, yeah, you guys want to go? And my wife at the time goes, yeah, I might be into that. And he's like, I'll tell you right now, there ain't no fucking safe word. And I was like, easy flex off. Like, there's no safe word. Like, I don't even know why you would say that. Like,
it's just
it was a bit rude, really.
That's just dumb. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, you're going to hurt her on purpose? Like, no, we're not going.
Glenn Danzig might be a little bit cheesy.
Just a touch.
And angry. I sensed anger from it. I was like, what? No safe, but don't say that. Like, you're not making it sound good at all.
Some people take on that dominant role for the wrong reasons.
Right.
You know, dangerous, screwed up reasons.
Okay, so I was right. I don't want to be in, like, the breath play. I did the breath play with her, and she would make it where, not when you breathe in, when you breathe out. So you got no air in your lungs. And then she takes the air away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you know how much longer I have before I need to suck air in?
Yeah.
Because I know, but how do you know? And I'm like, okay, I'm about one more second away from suffocating. And then she takes her finger off and I get air again. I'm like, man, she is playing with my mind so hard.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, it was really cool. And a bed vacuum. I was in a bed vacuum.
Oh, I love those. I did one of those once. That was a wild experience. Were you fully encased or was your head out?
I was fully encased and then I had a mask on so I was blind.
Yeah.
And I had just a little hole to breathe in. But when she turns the vacuum on, it like, you know, like a meat sealer, you know, when when you put...
vacuum seal.
Yeah, vacuum seal.
It's like Han Solo in, is it Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah, you look like that. You look, because it's just like masked to your skin. But when it sucks you up, it feels like you're off the ground.
Yeah.
And if you can't see, I just feel like I'm kind of floating, like suspending.
Yeah.
And
were you tickled then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the tickling.
Yeah, she was doing a lot of stuff.
Right, yeah, because once you're in that, you can't do anything.
No, you can't. You just got to go with it.
That's right.
It's very freeing. Like,
I feel we love control. We want control constantly as human beings in our progressive world today. We want control.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Right. Like a wise Disney princess once said.
I didn't know.
Story.
I had no idea that's what she was talking about, but she was right. She was spot on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to let it go.
Well, I can't believe we already need to wrap this up, but we already need to wrap this up.
All right. Well,
Shocking.
thanks for being on the show. I want to learn more. Where does everybody else go to find you to learn more if they're like me?
Where do I do direct addresses? I want to stare them down right in the eyes, right there. You want more Laura Desiree in your life? She's available. All you have to do is go to lauraxdesiree.me or check out my YouTube series, Red Umbrella Talk, at redumbrellatalk.com. Lots of info about sex work and the realities of it. So come get it.
Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks,
really
guys.
appreciate it. See you guys next week. If you want more, Jason, it's patreon.com/EllisMate, where we do too many shows. Take care of each other. Don't die.